Welcome, dear listener. You've entered Audible Archives, a sanctuary of sound where lost tales awaken, your guide through these ancient echoes and timeless legends. So lean back, breathe deep, and let the story begin. This is Audible Archives, where every word holds a whisper of magic.
Welcome to Audible Archives. I'm Rick, your host and narrator. Today's tale is for anyone who's ever felt awkward in a bank or suffered under the crushing weight of polite society. In my financial career, humorous Stephen Leacock shares a painfully funny moment of financial misadventure, with all the charm, wit, and dry panic that's made it a timeless favorite. Let's begin. There's something about banks that turns my bones to water. The moment I step inside, the air shifts. Cold, stiff, watching. Clerks glance up with knowing eyes. The click of wicked snaps like gunfire makes my spine jump. Even the crisp smell of money, it rattles me. I become a man unmoored from logic, adrift in the tides of pure panic. And I knew this, had always known it. But still, one payday morning, I found myself standing before a tall brick building, polished brass letters gleaming, the bank. My salary had been raised, $50 a month, a princely sum to me. And I had decided, with the shaky resolve of a man stepping into a duel, it was time to open an account. I pushed through the glass doors and shuffled timidly across the marble floor, my crumpled $56 balled up in my pocket like contraband. Clerks moved with the robotic precision of undertakers. Their eyes, their pens, their silent judgment, all of it set my nerves on edge. I didn't know what to do, where to begin, but I'd read enough novels to guess. One speaks to the manager when opening an account. That seemed reasonable, important. So I approached a wicket labeled accountant. He was tall, pale, impeccably dressed. The kind of man who probably tied his necktie with a ruler. I cleared my throat and whispered, "Can I see the manager alone?" Why I added alone, I cannot say. It escaped me like a confession. He raised a brow, then nodded. Certainly. Moments later, I was ushered into a private office. The manager closed the door behind us and, rather ominously, turned the key in the lock. "We're safe from interruption," he said, gently motioning for me to sit. We sat. Silence. He studied me, waiting. The kind of stare that peels layers from a man. I could feel sweat rising on my brow, and still I said nothing. Finally, he leaned in and said with an air of calm deduction, "You're one of Pinkerton's men, I presume." Pinkerton's, the detective agency. He thought I was a spy. And somehow, that thought only made it worse. "No," I replied, as though correcting some terrible misunderstanding. "Not from Pinkerton's." My voice was hoarse. I sounded like I was concealing something far worse. "I'm not a detective at all," I added. "I've come to open an account." His face relaxed, just slightly. He now assumed I was the son of a magnate. A Rothschild, perhaps, slumming in Canada. "I intend to keep all my money here," I said gravely. "A large account, I suppose?" he asked. "Fairly large," I whispered. I'm depositing $56 now, and $50 every month." He stood. "Mr. Montgomery," he called, loud enough to wake the lobby. "This gentleman is opening an account. He will deposit $56. I flinched. There it was, announced to the entire bank like I was donating a cathedral organ. As I rose, I noticed a large iron door beside the office. "Good morning," I muttered, and walked straight into the safe. "Come out," the manager said without emotion, showing me the proper exit. I returned to the accountant's window and thrust the crumpled bills at him, like a stage magician revealing a trick gone wrong. "Here," I gasped. "Deposit it." The clerk blinked. "Certainly." He passed the money to another. That one handed me a slip and asked me to write the amount and sign in a ledger. The room spun. People were watching. Pens paused. Even the clock on the wall seemed to lean in. Is it deposited?" I asked, my voice an echo from some cavern of humiliation. "It is," the accountant replied. "I'd like to draw a check," I said. Somebody handed me a checkbook. Another clerk, kindly, began to explain how to fill it out. They thought I was an invalid millionaire, a mysterious recluse. a man of means with peculiar habits. I scribbled a check for $6, or so I thought. I pushed it through the wicked fingers, trembling. The clerk squinted. "You're drawing it all out again?" My heart sank. I had written 56 instead of 6. My head swam. There was no salvaging this now. The audience of clerks watched, curious, concerned, amused. "Yes," I said, taking a plunge into the depths of absurdity. "All of it, every cent." "You're not going to deposit any more?" the man asked. "Never." In my dazed delirium, I hoped they might think I'd been insulted. That something had offended my delicate sensibilities, and I'd withdrawn in righteous rage. The clerk prepared to hand over the money. "How will you have it?" he asked. "What? How would you like the money?" "Oh," I blurted, "in 50s. He handed me a single $50 bill. "And the 6? "In 6s, I answered, not even knowing what that meant. He gave me the bills, and I turned on my heel and fled. Behind me, as the door swung closed, a roar of laughter erupted, rising like thunder to the rafters. I've never returned to a bank. Now, I keep my money in a sock, silver dollars jingling at the bottom, and the rest in the sanctity of my trouser pocket. It's safer that way, quieter. And I never have to be mistaken for a Pinkerton agent ever again. And that, dear listeners, is why some men keep their money in a sock. You've just heard My Financial Career by Stephen Leacock, brought to life by Audible Archives. Thanks for listening and laughing along. If this story made you grin, like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more classic voices back into the spotlight. Until next time, may your finances remain less dramatic.
And so, the tale draws to a close, but the echoes remain here in the Audible Archives. And until our next journey through shadow and story, keep listening, keep wondering, because every ending hides another beginning. Audible Archives, where stories never sleep.